On the podcast today, we have the incredible Libby McGowan. Check out her Facebook Live sale on July 5th and 19th. She will also be at Hugger Mugger Brewery in Sanford, North Carolina for First Friday on July 7th. She will also be at the Pint Size Pasture Day, PopCon at the Lee County Library on August 19th, and the Carolina Indie Fest in Sanford on September 29th and 30th. Welcome to You're Still Doing That. Sitting next to me is...
Libby McGowan.
Hey, Libby, and what are we going to talk about today? Libby's got a whole bunch of stuff to tell us today. Don't you worry. Let's get into her story.
What am I still doing?
I don't know. Welcome, everybody. This is our 6th episode of You're Still Doing That, and where everyday people can talk about what they did as a kid that they still like to do today, and tens of people are going to listen to it. All right, Libby. So I asked you before. I'm going to help you fill in the blank.
Yeah.
I've known Libby for about a decade or so. Libby and my wife were CrossFit buddies way back in the day, and... But now, instead of a CrossFitter, we know Libby as a photographer. Yep. We know her as for her spiritual needs. We know her as metaphysical. We know her as astrological. We know her as an energy healer. We know her as a healing artist. And we know her as a gym slinger, which is my favorite title. Does that about sum it up, Libby? Or do you got any extra titles to add to your name?
That pretty much sums it up. I have... come up with a title to kind of hold all that, and it's called a soul helper.
I love soul helper.
Yeah.
So Libby also has a healing art studio. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Healing art studio.
Yes.
Thank you, Chrissy, for that.
It's a very small healing art studio, but yes, yeah.
And it's called Consolate, and she did have a brick and mortar store, and now she's moved it to her lovely home. What kind of services can you provide people when they come and visit Consolate?
So I do energy healing. I am an archangelic light master, and that's my modality that I tend to go towards more than Reiki, but very similar in a sense that we're working with energy and helping people helping them heal themselves. I also read tarot, and am kind of like a uncertified counselor in a lot of ways for people that just need to have somebody listen and to help them work through things.
Yeah, a lot of times people just being able to listen is a big help.
Yep.
For lots of wonderful services. Let's get into how you started all this, Libby. All right, so let's start with the photography side first.
Oh, gosh.
Libby is a top-notch wedding photographer, engagement photographer, kind of photographer of all occasions. But she's done weddings all over the world, not just in our little hometowns here in North Carolina. How did you get into photography?
I started shooting in 2005, 2006, and just... as an art student, it was just kind of a natural progression. After years of working retail, I, was just playing with cameras and stuff, and it turned into something much bigger. I had no idea, and started shooting weddings, and didn't have any idea what I was doing, but
kind of like
evolved.
Me in this podcast.
Yeah, it evolved over years, and so I've now photographed weddings in Jamaica and a couple of other destination weddings around the United States. It's been an incredible journey. So
yeah, Libby goes all over the place for weddings. She is definitely an elite photographer. If you're looking for somebody, she's definitely the one you want if you can afford her, because I would surely hope that she costs a lot of money. Because your stuff is outstanding.
Thank you.
And people find you from all over the place. Yeah. So I need to talk to you about how you get your name everywhere, because I could use that for my podcast too. I don't know how to do that. But people I mean,
I say my circle is small, but my circle is big, but it's small. It's 100, almost 98% referral. I have incredible clients that talk about me to their friends and family, and it just goes from there and evolves. It's amazing.
Yeah, everybody fine. And what is your photography's business name if they're looking for it?
It's Libby McGowan Photography.
Yeah, find Libby McGowan Photography. She's no joke. She's got it down pat. What is the most stunning wedding that you've done?
It's hard because you fall in love with almost each one as you do them. So I have a favorite venue to shoot in. It's in downtown Raleigh. It's Marymount Wynn. It was built for photographers. It's incredible. Shooting in Jamaica is wild and amazing, and spending time with families, because I go down there as a guest generally, and I spend time on the beach with them and hang out with them. But yeah, it's not so much about the place. It's more about the feeling, the couple that I'm working with, their family. Everything's all about feeling to me. So
yeah, you can see where that counselor side is, where it grew out of, because you don't just get a photographer though, but you get a part of us. She becomes part of your wedding.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And yeah, just fabulous all around. What was like some of the craziest fun wedding that you've got to shoot where it was just nuts, all the stuff happening?
I should have done more research on this. I mean, I've shot weddings where they've had fireworks at the end. I've shot weddings where we've been on trolleys and just all over rooftops and different things. But there've been weddings where all of a sudden the groom has his shirt off and he's dancing around. I mean, it's a very interesting profession, I guess.
Right. You get to see if you hang around long enough for pictures, and if the bar's been open long enough, you get to really see everyone's personality.
There's a big difference between a dry wedding or a wine and beer wedding and an open bar wedding. Completely, totally different. Yeah.
I can tell you which one I would prefer. I bet that would be a lot of fun. What is your favorite style of wedding to shoot?
Just where two people are crazy in love with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the huge wedding parties, or do you prefer a smaller wedding party?
I mean, I said no, but there's beauty in both.
Seems like the smaller party you'd be more versatile.
Yeah,
and you get to know them better.
Yep, the more intimate. I have been a witness at a wedding. That's a great story. Yeah. I was at Bridal Veil Falls, or Triple Bridal. I don't know. It's one of the waterfalls in Asheville, and or in the mountains, and I was one of the witnesses. We hiked up, and they got married on the waterfall. But
nice.
So that was super super intimate because there was only 4 of us. So yeah, I like the smaller. I really, just as I'm growing older, I really like older couples. Working with them, LGBTQ couples have a very soft spot in my heart, and I love working with them. But yeah.
Where is a wedding, or what's the dream spot that you'd like to shoot that you haven't shot a wedding at yet?
Wow. That's kind of an easy question, don't you think?
Well, it might be for me, but no one else probably knows.
I mean, I would love to shoot a wedding in Iceland, but yeah, they have great photographers over there, and I wouldn't want to take away from their photographers. But yeah, Ireland, Scotland, UK would be amazing. But yeah, Iceland would be top of my list.
Libby, how many weddings do you shoot in a year, do you think?
Oh, wow. So I used to shoot about 24 a year.
Oh, that's not all year, because wedding season is not usually not all year.
In North Carolina, our wedding season is generally from March to November.
Yeah, so you're raking in most weekends.
I did, yes, for a long time. And it slowly started coming down over the years. I started pulling back a little bit, and my couples became more intentional, I guess, with me finding the people that I needed to work with.
So that I translate that as you had more people asking for weddings than you could handle.
Yeah.
So you could be a little more selective which a couple that you were interested with.
Yeah. So now generally, like this year, a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of the way I've modeled my business in the last couple of years.
Well, that's a good segue. With you coming down off of taking weddings or doing wedding photography, your business model, instead of just shooting pictures, you've transitioned more to the metaphysical side, and bringing in all kinds of things.
Yeah.
When did you first start getting into metaphysical stuff? I'm trying to think of a better way of saying that. But I don't know.
Spiritual stuff. Well, I mean, like it probably started with tarot. I think I had a tarot deck when I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And I would always go to tarot when I needed to get out of my head and feel like I could get answers from another source.
Now, can we have an explanation of what tarot is? Because I think some people, when they think of tarot, they think of casting a spell of some sort, or just whatever they've happened to see in a movie or something. Yeah, so what exactly is the practice of tarot?
I see myself as a channel for messages that your higher self needs to hear. So basically, if someone was coming for a tarot reading from me, it is a little bit of a therapy session, because I'm not this is gonna happen. I'm not a psychic. I'm not, like, let's just put that out there. I don't have any mediumship abilities. I'm not gonna, tell you what's gonna happen in the future, kind of thing.
Will I be rich?
I know, right?
No, I don't need a psychic.
But what I try and help people do is to look at whatever problem they're facing, or whatever, decision or fear or whatever they are asking about or worried about. I try and get them to take a step back and look at it from a different perspective. Get a little bit out of the 3D mindset and just kind of pull back and see what the bigger picture is, and different ways that they can go about approaching it, being prepared for it, that kind of thing. So it's divination, yes, but it's also like, I don't know.
How do you do all that through tarot?
Well, there's spreads. You do spreads, different spreads. I don't do anything fancy or anything like that. I just go with what I'm inspired to do, and I read the cards. I've done a lot of certifications and stuff like that, so I read the cards, but I also interpret them with my client as to how it plays into their life.
I got you.
Usually some tears.
Well, therapy session usually has lots of tears. If it's working pretty well, it has lots of tears or lots of ahas.
Yeah, exactly.
When you finally discover something.
Yeah.
And anytime you can talk through things with somebody, whether if it's a licensed therapist or psychiatrist or your tarot reader, all of that is really good to work through and talk through things. Now, photography is pretty safe and vanilla, but tarot and Reiki and other stuff we're going to talk about, that sometimes can bother folks, and then for other people, they're good with it. They're ready for something different. They're like, oh, that's wonderful. How have you found our little neck of North Carolina to be for your business?
Yeah. So when I opened up Constellate, I was very quiet about it. I say that. I opened in August of 2021, and I joined the chamber that fall, and we did a ribbon cutting in November. So it was kind of quiet. For the first couple of months, I was scared there's a lot of imposter syndrome with being a healer. Or a healing channel. And so I was scared to kind of put myself out there. That's where this whole moving the shop here, or my healing space here, and not having the crystal, quote unquote, crystal shop in town, it was easy for me after all my retail experience for me to throw myself into selling crystals and be like, hey, this is what I have to sell.
Right. You
Instead
got a
of
product.
selling who I was and what I'm here to do. And so there was just kind of like this revelation just recently that that's not my path. Yes, this town loves the crystals that I choose and handpick for them. And I still want to offer that to this community, but just do it in a different way. So I do live sales on Facebook Live. I also, have all the stuff here set up like I did at the shop, but it's not a retail space. The way I think this is supposed to be talked about later, but the way that people can come in and shop is they can book an appointment with me for energy session or tarot or whatever, and then they can actually have a personalized shopping experience with me. Or I'll be doing vendor events like I usually do first Friday at Hugger Mugger. It's always a great experience for me. And then I have another one on the 14th at Pint Sized Pasture on Fire Tower Road. So I still want to offer that. I love it. I'm also doing Indie Fest again in September. But I just felt like in a way I was not able to be at the space for a normal retail location. And that was where the disconnect was. And I felt like I was letting people down because I wasn't there enough. So I had to really kind of revamp everything and decide.
Choose a path instead of trying to walk on several paths.
Yep. So I can be better and show up for people better.
Well, that's right. Most definitely. We'll say that Consulate had the best lights and curtains in it.
Mom would agree with you on that. Right? She made the curtain.
Me having spent a few moments over there screwing all that stuff up.
It was like breaking my heart because it was very special. And, I remember when we were doing the space here, and I just looked at my mom and I said, I've just realized that it wasn't the space that made it special. I made it special. Right. And so, it was a cute shop though. It was super cute. So
but it was like your trial run. It was.
Yes, it was.
You're like, I want to do this, but then you realize maybe I don't want to do it here and like this.
Yeah.
Right. But you gotta go through those little stumbles to figure out what you want to do. And that's always what I thought. Like, usually when I think back on steps I've taken, some of the worst parts of my career, I'm thinking if I didn't have those, I wouldn't have gotten to this next revelation.
Yeah.
So,
And I kind of got off the question there because you asked me how receptive it was here. And like I said, I was scared. Scared in this little town. But it was... I kept saying when I opened up the shop, I was like the lighthouse. I had to beam the light to let people know that I was here.
Yep.
And people would come into the shop and they would just be like, we are so glad you're here. We are so thankful you're here. And that made me feel amazing. And like I could shine a little bit brighter. Every time like someone, every time someone like connected with me and said that they were also, looking for this, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, because your shop doesn't exist anywhere.
No.
In town, you can't, and your services. I don't know about if your services are anywhere else in town, but it's hard to find because, it's just not a lot of people that do that kinds of stuff, and some people are a little scared.
Yeah, and a lot of people were excited because they wouldn't have to drive to Raleigh or Fayetteville or whatever, and they really liked being able to come in and talk.
By appointment, you can really get to know your client a little bit better, which is what you did in your photography business. That's your selling point. That's how you get repeat customers.
Exactly.
They feel that connection.
I like to deep dive. I'm a projector in human design, and I am the seer. I can see people better than they can a lot of times, and so that's my gift.
Right. Now, if someone wants to patronize your business here at your house, how do they go about setting up an appointment?
Out here, they're going to need to set an appointment online. They can set up an appointment for energy healing or tarot. Tarot I can do via online also if they don't want to come out here. I can also do distance healing, but I think if you're local you're going to want to come out here.
Right. Oh, and her area it's got a super nice vibe to it.
Yeah, and I'm literally only 6 minutes down the road from the shop, so I'm really close.
Right. And so where do they go online to make an appointment?
ConstellateNC.com.
ConstellateNC.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely go check it out, everybody. I highly recommend it.
You can always message me too.
All right. So you mentioned the word Reiki.
Yeah.
What exactly is Reiki for people that may not know?
It is a healing modality where I, as a practitioner, channel energy into someone's body and helps their body, their energy centers. We have energy centers. It's our chakras. And I am here to help channel energy into those to make them the strongest and cleanest that they can be. We get trapped up with emotional trauma, physical trauma in those centers, and they can show up in different ways, like anxiety or depression or physical things.
Yeah. And I think people are realizing that most folks have more emotional trauma than they realized before. I think that's very more.
We hold all of
we hold it more apparent. That's definitely in the forefront. So when you get a Reiki session, explain physically what's going on.
Yeah. So well, first off, when someone comes in for energy healing, I talk to them. It's not okay, get on the table. Like I want to talk. I want to find out what's going on. I have an intake form, but I also want to talk and figure out what are we working on. I use a pendulum to check chakras and to see which ones are, fine or producing well, and then the other ones that are under or blocked. The pendulum will show me which ones those are, and then I just channel energy. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I'm attuned to pull in white life source energy. All right. So when a customer comes in or a client comes in for a Reiki session, they come in and we talk. Usually it can be 15 to 20 minutes. And then they are going to lay on the table, and I then work on channeling energy. I usually put crystals around them and on their chakras. And I channel energy. They may feel some heat. They may feel some lightness, especially if I'm doing archangelic light. It's a very cool energy. But a lot of times people go to sleep.
Yeah, that's what I would fight the couple times I've had it.
The sleeping part is amazing. Most men do fall asleep, and I think it's because it helps them accept the energy. It keeps you from fighting it. Our logical brain sometimes is like, what's going on? So I really like it when people relax that much, and it just lets me do what I need to do. It's all hands off. There are times where I put my hands on your head, and that just it allows me to connect to you. And it's when people get up from the table, they usually sit for a little bit, and they're just like, I just feel kind of woozy. And it's like you've kind of gone somewhere, but not really. But it's a lightness feeling when you're done. Most everyone that has given me feedback on their session or something, they just feel better. As I was looking at something a friend posted today about a Yale study that just came out about heart attack patients, and that it helps so much to have it after you've had a heart attack. And it helps prevent, obviously. But I've helped friends. Actually, a friend that's in Mexico, she was going in for back surgery, and so we did Reiki the day before just to make sure that her energy system was in top notch and ready for the surgery.
Very good. I do highly recommend Reiki. It is very relaxing.
Yep. And after the session, we usually sit around. We'll talk about what you saw, what I saw, ways that we can help, work towards healing any chakras that were blocked. And then based on what session you book, we may pull cards after and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I bet you all mine are blocked. I bet my
happens.
chakras are bouncing energy all kinds of wrong directions. You put that pendulum over me, and it's probably going all crazy ways. I have no idea, especially with all my joint issues. I bet they're bouncing left and right. Probably well overdue for a session. All right, you've mentioned archangelic light a few times, and I need some explanation myself. What exactly are we talking about?
It's funny, the stuff that you're drawn, like the stuff that you're so like, I'm never gonna do that, is what you actually end up being drawn to, and what you're really good at. When my Reiki master was telling me about archangelic light, I was like, this is so stupid. This is hokey. Angels and stuff. And I went to help her with a session when she was training another Reiki practitioner, and we were talking, and basically I found out that I was already doing archangelic light. I did not know that that was what I was doing. Some of the symptoms or things that I was doing, the swaying and stuff like that. So, she's like, you really just need to go ahead and get trained in it. And I was like, okay. And it has been the biggest gift. It's working with angelic energy, not so much angels like halos and wings, more of the energy of the archangels. And they all have a specific purpose, a specific healing that they do. And so that's why for me it's so important to talk to someone before we go into a healing session, because I want to know exactly what energy I want to call in to help us.
Now, are we talking angels like archangels like David and Gabriel and all that stuff, or is this a different flavor of that?
Yeah, Archangel Michael, Raphael. It sounds like the Ninja Turtles.
I'm about to say, we're going to say Donatello and Michelangelo too.
No, there's not a Donatello.
There should be.
Yeah. That, and then also when you're attuned for, I'm an Archangel Master, so I can actually teach. But it
needs to be on a shirt, Archangel Master. That is legendary right there.
Yet, but
or a bumper sticker. That's great.
You also learn about all the divine masculines and the divine feminines, so you can also use their energy as well. So, yeah.
Good. Yeah. So I know some people might say, "Oh, all that's just a bunch of fooey made up stuff," right? But look, I don't care what somebody believes. If it's a positive force in your life, especially if you feel called to do that positive force, then that's what it works for you. If it's doing one of our standard religions, if you feel called to preach that, minister, or be a part of it, and that's bringing joy to your life and to other people around you, then that's what you're meant to do. If it's to do tarot or Reiki or angelic light, and that's bringing joy and positive to everyone around them, then that's what you're called to do, and that's your path. So, and I've always said this is one more right than the other. Yeah, I was like, that really is what you make of it. I mean, what you put into it and what you work, because none of us know what's right and none of us knows what's wrong, but we know what's working and we know what makes us feel better and helps other people. And that's where you need to follow, because if it's not making someone feel better, then you need to move that out of the way. We've got a lot of people that are making people feel bad, and that's the opposite of what we need.
Yeah. So in 2016, I started my spiritual journey. I've been a spiritual person, but 2016 was like the big, let's throw a bunch of angel numbers at her and stuff and make her feel like she's going insane. So that happened for a couple of years, and it just kind of evolved. And that was the whole reasoning behind Constellate. I had a friend that was like, you should do energy healing. And I was like, what? I spent all of 2019 going to a Reiki master for energy healing once a month, which now I can look back and know that it opened me up exactly how I needed to be. And I've told people, like, before they've done energy healing, I'm like, I'm just going to tell you, your life's going to probably change for the better. But anything that any kind of path that should open up for you, it will. It brings that. And so I just wanted to be, again, that lighthouse so if someone was like, I'm going crazy. Like, I'm seeing all these numbers and I don't know what's going on. I wanted to be that ambassador or,
Right.
someone ushering them in to go, you're not. Like, congratulations. Here we go. And just to help them along that path.
Be a focal point so they can see.
Absolutely. And so, it's, if you'd asked me 5 years ago if I thought I'd be doing this, I'd be like, you're crazy.
Right.
But it's been the biggest gift, and it's wild. I love it.
Yeah. Well, anything that helps clears the fog out of your brain.
Yeah.
To find that something that you're supposed to be doing, until a little light switch kicks on.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't do anything else but that now, because that always seems like that's what I should have been doing all along.
And it's just evolved so much since then. Like, a lot of people will say, like, people have been coming online or people have been awakening, and it's true. In hindsight, it's like, this was definitely, I was here, put on this path to be here for other people as they come on this path.
All right, Libby. Yeah. So you have talked at length, at least to me and Chrissy, about different retreats you've gone on.
Yeah, I've taken her with me.
And then you took her with you to Iceland.
Yep.
Of all places,
Iceland's
which
my favorite.
Magnificent place.
Yes.
What can you tell us about your retreats that you take your small groups on?
Yeah, so I've been to Iceland 6 times. I went first time in 2016.
See, I've seen Rent 6 times, but that's not as awesome as going to see Iceland 6 times.
So I know it pretty well. And I went on a solo trip in 2019, and I really needed that trip. And Iceland is magnificent. It just it helps people heal. I don't know how else to describe it. It's it really is same thing with tarot. It gets you out of your head. And so, we had to take a break on 2020 because, the pandemic. Yeah. And I was determined to get back, and I wasn't able to until 2022, and I went twice. We went in May, and I took 5 women with me, and it was remarkable. They fell in love with it. We did some body image work. I'm a certified body image coach. And I help people heal their relationship with their bodies. Again, soul helper.
Right.
So we did some of that. And I think that's the thing about Iceland that's amazing is, like, you can appreciate all the stuff that your body can do for you. We're hiking. We're not necessarily like...
It's not like Grand Canyon hiking.
No. But like, you're
walking outdoors to go see what's there.
You're walking behind waterfalls, and you're seeing glaciers and stuff like that. And so it really puts everything into perspective, I think.
Yeah, I know. Touching a glacier is a bucket list item for me.
Yeah.
When Chrissy went with you, I was like, you better put your hands on that thing and FaceTime me when you do it.
Yeah.
It might be the closest I ever get.
Yeah. And it's wild because I take it for granted because I have been so many times that I didn't think people would really want to do it as much as they did, and like the best part is when they've come home and, they'll share things about their trip and how life-changing it was. And that's where it's like, oh yeah, okay. Because I see that, and I love seeing other people see Iceland through their eyes, like their excitement for the first time. Chrissy, like when we went to the Glacial Lagoon and she saw the seals. I didn't think
she was coming back. Did not think she was coming back.
That was incredible. So yeah, I love finding joy. And then I went back in October, a much smaller group. And that was fascinating and wonderful, and we got to see the Northern Lights. When we went in May, we had midnight sun, so that was the first time I'd experienced that. So that was really cool. Right.
So if you are interested in an Iceland healing trip,
yeah. So I have some people that have been really reaching out to me about going this fall, and I'm not sure if I have enough people to get a group together this fall. So if you're interested, let me know ASAP. I'll try and pull something together. If not, we'll start planning for 2024.
All right, Libby. With all your healing arts work, what was the moment where you realized that this is what I should be doing? When was that click? when you were doing your healing arts? When was it that light went off that you're like, this is exactly what I should be doing?
So 2020 gave me a big pause. The rug was pulled out from under me as a wedding photographer.
You're right. No weddings.
Yeah. We shot one on March 13th.
Yep. That was about the last day.
That was or maybe it was March 14th, and it was the day after Governor Cooper had pulled the plug. And so I got certified in tarot. I was, what do I do? You know, I was still like booking and stuff like that, but weddings were getting postponed. And, you know, I'm collecting unemployment as a small business owner. And I was just like, what am I going to do? You know, and I had all this free time. So I dove into what I enjoy.
Right.
And,
which I think a lot of other people did too.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a big pivot, especially for a lot of photographers. I was lucky that I've been able to maintain my business, the last 3 years where a lot of people had to shut their doors.
Well, that's a testament to your name.
Yeah. Thank you. That was, yeah. But yeah, so I just started playing, and, I was doing some shadow work courses, and I mean, it really wasn't until my friend Emily was like, you need to go and get trained for Reiki. And I was like, what? And that was early 2021.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, I leased the shop with an intent of it just being an office.
Right.
I thought it was going to be like my office for Libby McGowan photography. And, it evolved so fast, so fast. And just like all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, we're going to a gym show. Went to my first gym show in June, I think, of 2021, and filled up the shop.
Yep. I remember your first little shop you had, and it was photography, and then you're like, well, I'm going to try this other
studio.
thing.
Yeah.
And
the studio behind the Fringe. Yeah.
And then, boom, you were in another spot saying, oh, I'm going to do something completely different.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Once you realized that you were gung-ho at changing it.
Yeah, we did the floors in the studio.
Yep. I remember putting that flooring down.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, Main Street, Jonesboro has a way to go. I think Jonesboro will be a really cool space. But right
now,
they
can get parking for everybody.
Yeah.
My goodness.
The parking's a nightmare, and it's just really loud. It was very frustrating doing energy work on that street, and a lot, it's the loud mufflers, but also like that is a thoroughfare for the fire department, so it's constant fire trucks. So that was there was just a lot of reasons to move it here.
What's your favorite tarot deck? Which one do you find yourself going to?
That's hard. The Lightseers Tarot is what I read with for everybody, pretty much. I used to let people choose, and I don't do that anymore. Yeah. I let them choose the energy and then the advice.
Feels like somebody would say, all right, Matt, you are going to play this French horn for me. I'm like, I don't like that one.
Right. Because there is a specific deck that I had, and I just kept getting terrible readings from it. The energy was just off, so I don't use it anymore.
The deck chooses the tarot reader.
How many do I have? I probably have 12 tarot decks. Easy. I don't even know. But I probably have more like 30 to 40 oracle decks. Difference is a lot. I heard someone say the tarot is like a recipe. No, the oracle is like a recipe, and the tarot is like the ingredients. So the oracle is going to be a little bit more broader, and then the tarot is going to be like the nitty gritty stuff.
What's the difference between tarot and oracle?
That's what I just said.
Okay, you can tell I was probably listening. I was like, what does she mean, oracle? You said the oracle was.
So the oracle's more like a general. Like,
right? Was that is that a deck of cards?
Oh yeah.
That's what I was meaning.
Sorry. And so they're different. They're different cards by different authors.
Oh, so it's a mixed deck.
Yes. So you can have an oracle for fairies, or an oracle for mermaids, or, I have Rebecca Campbell's probably one of my very favorites. She does an oracle for starseeds. So like there's just all different. I have all of her decks too.
Gotcha.
Favorite tarot deck, Lightseers to read for people. I love the Good Tarot. It's one of my very favorites. I own 2 copies of it. So I had one at the shop and then one at home. That's probably the one. I have Fat Folks tarot deck too, and I love that one. But yeah, Light Seers. I love shadow work, and it is a shadow work deck. So it has the light, but then it also has the shadow.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had tarot done for me, so that would be interesting. I know Chrissy's probably tried to do something with you, but my brain's so terrible, I don't remember if it happened or not. But it would be neat, especially the Reiki. It'd be interesting to see with all my messed up joint issues, what the pendulum was going upside down when it comes over me. What is your go-to stones? What do you like to carry?
This is gonna sound terrible. I don't actually carry stones on me generally.
Right.
I'm almost always wear something.
Yeah.
Like my emerald or a moonstone. Labradorite is probably my very favorite. I'm really impartial to my emerald. I love it. I think that the stone chooses the person that needs it at that time.
The wand chooses the wizard, Harry. Yeah.
So, because a lot of times people would come in the shop and they'll see me at a vendor event and they're like, well, what do I need? And I'm like, well, what are you drawn to?
I would be drawn to the ones that look waterish blue.
Okay.
Because that's my color. That's one of so that would be instantly what I would go to just because I like the color.
Aren't you a Leo though?
I am a Leo.
That's interesting.
Well, what are Leos drawn to?
Well, I would just think you would be drawn more to like fiery or orangey, kind of like a tiger's eye or a cornelian or something like that.
I had an ex-girlfriend who liked tiger's eye, so it's probably tainted it.
But maybe because of your fire that you need that water to calm you.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. It's the water. Everyone says that I always have a calming personality, especially teaching.
I wonder, because I kept telling Chrissy that you were a Cancer, and she's like, "No, he's not." So I'd like to look at your chart and see if you've got a lot of Cancer in you.
I was a late baby. Was Cancer before Leo?
It's July. We are in Cancer season, so yes.
Okay. Oh well, see. Well, maybe I have because no, I am. I'm the 23rd. They make fun of people. No, see, my mom was in labor. They let her stay in labor for like 3 days.
Oh wow!
Before they took me out.
That's terrible.
I can't imagine. I tried to come out of Cancer, but I came out of Leo.
Okay.
Right. So maybe that's got something to do with it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I look at what Leos are supposed to be, and I'm like, yep. That's kind of me too.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
I do love my black obsidian. Have you seen that guy?
Oh, that big thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I do like it.
You know, that's lava glass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. I used to wear stones when I was running a lot, and then I don't know why I took them off. Maybe I shouldn't have, because that's when my hip gave out.
Oh, maybe.
They were me.
I'm totally all for people carrying them. I don't know why I don't.
I put them around my classroom at school. Whatever the black stone is that takes up negative energy.
Tourmaline.
Oh, those things are probably rotten in my classroom by now. They've soaked up so much. I need new ones.
Yeah. I surround myself with them, especially now that I have the space and everything, and they're all in my home.
And you can buy them at a discount too.
Well, yeah, wholesale. Yeah.
What is your favorite incense?
Divine Temple.
Divine Temple.
It smells like a Buddhist temple to me. It's amazing.
I have to get a box from you.
Yeah.
What do you do when you feel like you need energy work?
Let me tell you.
Or you like most people, they put off trying to fix themselves. They work on other people.
I'm guilty of that. A lot of people are like, well, you can just do Reiki on yourself. And let me tell you, yes, you can. You absolutely can.
It's not the same, I would think.
When you're attuned, Reiki 1, you can do Reiki on yourself. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Because you can't let go fully. Because you're worried about hand placements and stuff like that. So yeah, you can do it kind of just like put a Band-Aid on. But when I'm fortunate to have other practitioners that are friends, that are close friends, that, we will Reiki share with each other. I don't do it often enough. I need to be better at that for myself and take time for myself. Because it's so funny. After I've had it done, I just get like a chatterbox. It's like my energy gets peaked so high that I'm just like, so it's always like I said, when people ask me that, like clients, they're like, well, how often should I come? And I'm like, well, you'll know when you need it. I don't try and like put anybody in some kind of like 6-month plan or anything like that. But I feel like you will physically feel it when it's time.
All right, Libby. So we're about ready to close this out. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. I ask every guest the exact same ones.
Okay.
Exact same questions. They don't have anything to do with photography or metaphysical or anything. Just rapid fire questions. All right. What is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
God, really?
Yeah.
That's hard. I see beauty all the time. Like all the time. That's I photograph it. I see it.
Right. So which one that sticks out? That'd be in your top 10.
Well, okay. One of my very favorite pictures that I've ever taken is Stalksness in Iceland. It looks it's a mountain range, I guess is what you call it, on the East Coast. And it looks computer generated. It's like something that it's hard to explain.
I knew you were going to say Iceland.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't or when you just you walk over the like mounds over at the Glacier Lagoon and you then like over the peak of it and then you walk and you see the glacier. It's like it's unbelievable. Diamond Beach. Like I can't. Yeah, all of Iceland.
What's your favorite smell?
Wow. I do love jasmine.
Jasmine's a good smell.
Yeah.
We had some in California. We had a big bush of jasmine. I always smelled that. That's a good one. Do you have incense? Jasmine incense?
Mm-hmm,
No, I have to get some of that too. What's your favorite sandwich?
Ooh, I love Cafe Vesuvio's meatball sub.
Meatball subs.
God, they have the best meatballs. Yes.
What's your favorite kind of drink? Any kind of drink?
Cheer one.
What makes you happy every single time it happens?
Seeing a rainbow.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Yeah.
Seeing a rainbow.
That's one of my signs.
If you could give your kid self one little nugget of advice.
Oh, Lord. Did I talk about how I work on inner child healing with people?
You have not talked about that. But I'm interested.
That's one of the first things I say.
Every guest has said the same, pretty much the same answer.
Really?
They've said it in different ways, which I found interesting.
She is absolutely perfect just the way she is.
Yeah, everybody's been very similar.
Needed to hear that.
All right, so Libby, I always ask each guest to nominate someone. Who do you think would be good on the podcast? Somebody that's doing something now that they still had an interest in as a kid.
Well, one of my friends, she nominated me for a blog.
Yeah.
A couple months ago. So I would love to give the favor back to her and nominate May Hemmer. Do you know who May Hemmer is?
I do not.
She is a cosplay / burlesque performer. She's amazing.
I love it.
She's just a seamstress. She's incredible. But yeah, I think she'd be great.
Yeah, and I'm really glad I got you on because I was really wanting to find some female voices.
Yeah.
Because the only people that's been reaching out to me have been male voices. They all want to talk about their thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking I need some female voices to talk about what they do. And what kind of cosplay does? Say her name again?
Gosh. Well, that's her stage name, May Hemmer.
May Hammer.
Yeah,
okay.
Hemmer.
Hemmer.
Like mayhem.
Right. Him. Yeah.
Mayhem.
Yeah, Mayhemmer. I got it. So what kind of cosplay does Mayhemmer do?
Oh, just all kinds of stuff. She is one of the judges at PopCon.
Yeah. All right, then I might remember
when
I see her.
I
mean, does she do? I was like,
don't ask me about cosplay because I don't know anything about cosplay.
Okay. I'll just cut all that bit out.
I don't know, but she does the Viking experience too.
Right. Like, I didn't know if she was typical.
But she goes to like all these cons.
Like, does she
what
do
does that
like
mean?
Here? I'm a Jedi, or I'm a stormtrooper.
Oh, she creates a new outfit every time. Like she's incredible.
I didn't know if she did the standard cosplay stuff, like superheroes, Marvel, that kind of stuff, or if she was doing like her
Anime?
own. Anime, yeah.
Okay.
Like if she did, stereotypical cosplay.
Anime, she does all of it.
All of it. Okay.
All of it. I've seen her do like Marvel people. I've seen
Yeah.
her do anime. I've seen her do I think she's working on a Beauty and the Beast gown right now. So it's like all over.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
All over.
I didn't know if she had her own persona that she
does.
cosplays.
I mean, like I don't know, but
Right.
she's incredible.
Thanks again for being on the show, Libby. If anybody wants to meet Libby in real life, just make an appointment at the Consulate website. What was the website again, Libby?
ConstellateNC.com.
Yeah, I'm such a Neanderthal. ConstellateNC.com. Remember, folks, whatever makes you happy, go out there and do it. There's a lot of life out there to live. Take time to enjoy it. Everybody have a good week.